I hate you. I hate marriage. I hate sex. I want to have my life back.
Undress right now at the count of seven or else.
Don't do this, please. Don't do this, please.
Part 2 begins.
I found myself on the hospital bed and I was told that I have been hospitalized for 2 days with a very slim chance of being better. Took some hours before I remembered what actually happened. I asked the doctor if I was brought in raped and they said no, but I never believed them, thinking they were afraid to tell me the truth. I later got to know that 80% of us were hospitalized. I was discharged after 1 week, but my mind was imprisoned because no one could tell me what really happened after I passed out. For days I couldn't go out. I couldn't relate with anyone in the hostel or at the fellowship. I was terribly sick mentally and emotionally. Lolita, the birthday celebrant, was the only one coming to check on me. She was also quiet about the incident. One of the days, I asked her to open up to me if I was later raped, but she begged me that she consciously decided not to talk about it ever again, as she said she was the one responsible for all that happened to everyone. 3 months later, I went to one of the hall in the school for reflection. Because I was bored in my hostel, I was sitting all alone in a corner of the hall while 2 guys suddenly appeared and sat beside me at each side. I was terrified, but they calmly said, "We are students like you and we are here to study as well." I pleaded with them that I want to be left alone, but they insisted gently that they want to stay with me to study, while one of them said he has to tell me something. I quickly asked him to speak out, as I said I must leave for my hostel immediately. One of them said his name is Felix and he's in year 4. He said he was the one that rescued us the day we were raped at the birthday party. Felix continued and said,
I came to visit one of my friends that was living in the next flat to Lolita that day and I decided to sleep over. When we were done reading, I told my friend that I was feeling uncomfortable because of the hot weather. He then asked me to go to the veranda to get some fresh air. Not quite long since we sat at the veranda, your generator suddenly went off and my friend Frederick said he may be invited to help out because he's the one who fixes generators for them in the neighborhood. We were expecting to hear from Lolita and I was so anxious to come around so as to eat from the party food. Some minute later, we started hearing noise from your end and we decided to come around. As we moved a little bit closer, we heard a voice that said, "Undress right now at the count of 7 or else."
As Felix said that, the voice of the gang leader echoed in my head.
Undress right now at the count of 7 or else.
I felt sharp pain in my head. I shouted Jesus in fear and I said, "I must leave for my hostel right now." Felix and his friend tried to persuade me to listen to the full story of how we were rescued, but I reacted harshly because I didn't want them to tell me how I was raped. As I was going, Felix wrote his phone number in a paper and gave it to me as he said, "I stopped them from raping you. Call me if you wish to know how." I got home panting as someone who came out alive from the lion's den, and I started sobbing, feeling pity for myself and my friends. 2 days later, I summoned courage and I called Felix to meet me at the hall again. For the discussion, we exchanged greetings as he continued the story.
Me and my friend mobilized 4 more guys around the neighborhood to cause unnecessary noise which scared away the gang members, thinking it was the police. When they left, we entered into the flat and rushed everyone to the hospital.
I then asked, "How did you know that that monster didn't touch me?"
At the hospital, you and one other girl was separated from others by the doctors, saying both of you were not raped, and it was also confirmed by your friends that you slumped in fear and the gang didn't get to you and the other girl before they left.
I appreciated Felix and his friends for their bravery and kindness as we departed. I tried to move on with my life by putting all behind me, but I couldn't because I always hear the voices within me, the baritone voice, my friend screaming of pain and agony, and the terrific image of those monsters.
Undress right now at the count of 7 or else.
Don't do this, please. Don't do this, please.
I consciously decided not to have anything to do with men, and so many romantic relationships I had after then ended without cause. Felix was one of the gentlemen that crossed my path. He kept on calling to check on me after that discussion, and that brought us closer to each other. He tried to break the wall I built around myself, but I kept on sucking from his love bank while I refilled his bank with hatred, nagging, ungratefulness, and much more. There was a time he invited me out and we were enjoying our discussion, but when he started talking about us building the future together, I angrily poured a drink on him at the bar and I walked away. When Felix couldn't stand it anymore, he decided to give me space. My mom got worried about me when she noticed my attitude to relationship. All my younger ones were happily married and it didn't bother me. I was doing well in my career and I am still engrossed in serving God. There was a time I told my mom that marriage is not for me when she was asking me for a grandchild. When Bayo was building friendship with me when he returned from UK to Nigeria, I told him to declare his intentions because I'm not a marriage material. Bayo ignored all the danger alerts I was intentionally displaying in the relationship as he focused on both of us building a lifetime relationship together. I have embarrassed him severally. I have worked out on him in the presence of his parents and friends so many times. I have quitted our relationship many times, but he wasn't bothered by it all. His responses were always calm and very loving. He had never raised his voice at me and he was always ready to go with my terms, and that was why I could go this far with him. His kind attitude was what glued us together. My parents and friends were surprised when I told them that I would be getting married. Every one of them gave him kudos for bringing me out of my shell. My mom specifically told him that he achieved what my both parents couldn't achieve for more than 6 years and they respected him for that. My thought was interrupted as Bayo knocked at the door. He said,
Ayo, it's 6 a.m. already. I actually slept off while waiting for you. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, but I need more time alone.
That can't happen. You've been in there for more than 7 hours. Am I now a monster? Or why are you running away from me?
Bayo, leave me alone. I would come out when I'm fine.
If you don't come out right now, I would be left with the option of reporting the case to the hotel management so they can break the door open.
If you want me to come out, you must promise me divorce. I want to have my life back. I don't want to engage in sex. I hate marriage.
Ayo, please don't do this to us. We have come this far. We can sort out whatever it's bothering you together. We are now on.
His last statement triggered my negative reaction as I said, we are not one. My body can't be one with yours. Please allow me to go. I hate you. I hate marriage. I hate sex. When Bayo noticed that I was so aggressive about my decision, he then said,
Ayo, I agree with your terms. I would do anything you want me to do. Please come out.
I opened the door and I started packing my things. Then I said to him, Bayo, I have to do this because you are no more the same man I agreed to marry. You now want sex by all means, and that I can't stand. I still want to keep my virginity even in this marriage.
Ayo, I would let you go since it's your decision, but I must take you back to your parents myself.
I was so glad knowing that I can be free again without minding Bayo's mood. Both of us moved to my parents' house, and they were so surprised to see us that my mom said,
I thought you booked 2 weeks for your honeymoon. What are you doing here, and why Ayo hasn't removed her wedding gown since yesterday?
Bayo responded calmly saying,
I brought her back to you because she's opting out of the marriage.
I said, yes, Mom. I want to have my life back. My parents were lost in thought, and after some time, my mom said,
God forbid, my enemies would not catch up with me.
I responded to her saying, Mom, it's not an enemy. It's the decision I took 15 years ago. My dad said we need to invite the deliverance minister to pray for me, and as he picked up his phone to call him, I said, "Dad, let me tell you a story before you call him." I told them everything that happened to me when I was in school and how badly I was affected by that event. My parents, Bayo and one of my younger sisters that was still at home because of the wedding, were surprised because they were hearing the story for the first time. My younger sister shouted, saying, "Ah, big sis, you went through all that without telling anyone, not even me, despite our closeness." My mom invited me to her room to have a talk with me while my dad engaged Bayo in a discussion. By the time my mom was done conversing with me, my decision had taken a new turn and I was ready for the do. I told my mom that I would keep my marriage and I would surely make her proud. I walked out of her room smiling, and Bayo was excited to see me in that mood. My dad asked me if I still want to divorce Bayo. I said if I walk out of Baryo's life, 10 women that are better than me would surely beg him to marry them. Bayo is a wonderful person and I have decided to spend my life with him. Bayo was happy at the turn of the event, while my dad shared different life experiences with us. He said,
"The best way to deal with depression, anxiety, and hurt is to let it out to a reliable person. When you cock perfume in a bottle, it stays there, but when you open an escape route, it diffuses as if it was never a liquid. And do you notice that its fragrance disappears with time? My advice for you is never to bottle up hurt or pain inside of you. I want all of us to learn from Haryo's experience. Sex in marriage is good, but it can also turn to the worst nightmare if one has a negative impression about it. I will liken this issue to someone that saw a traumatic experience of another person that got injured by hot soup. Soup is human food. You can't stop eating it because someone, or even yourself, had a traumatic experience with it. Always remember that the hurt you don't share becomes a negative baggage.
My dad appreciated Bayo and encouraged us to live together in peace. Me and Bayo returned back to the hotel to start our new life, and 2 days after, I caught him talking to my dad on phone, smiling, appreciating him for raising a beautiful and wonderful daughter like me. Today is our 5th-year wedding anniversary, and I love the wife, the mother and companion I have grown up to be. I have done the do. I have stayed in my marriage, and I can boldly say sex in marriage is very interesting, exciting, and very yummy. So ladies and gentlemen, entering into relationship with negative baggages may be very dangerous and disastrous, so if you have any unresolved issues about relationship, you must get a reliable person to talk to. I nearly destroyed myself and my marriage before my marriage started. With a loud ovation, let's welcome my husband, Bayo, to the podium to share his own experience.
I wasn't the wonderful, the calm, and the understanding person that Haryo met. Years back, it was my past relationship with Gift that changed my life.
To be continued. Watch out for part 3. Thanks for watching. I love you all.